Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam, thanks for hanging out with me again today. And today, well, we're doing a restore. So this kit is a Kyosho Outlaw Ultima truck. And it was sent in, I would say probably almost a year ago. So James, I'm very sorry that this has taken so long to get to it. One thing or another has come up, my, attention has been brought elsewhere occasionally, but I think I have everything here I need to get this done, and it shouldn't take too awful long to actually do it once I get started. So James sent this in, again, not fully complete, doesn't have a body, just missing a few little bits and pieces. So found this junker on eBay at one point and put a bid on it, hoping I would get it, but wasn't really expecting it to because it was fairly cheap. Don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it wasn't much. So next thing you know, get an email saying, hey, you've won, pay for your thing. So I'm like, cool. So it does have a good chassis, and it's not scratched up or torn up. Neither is this. It shows some sign of running, but no big deal. This one's missing the top deck and a whole lot of other parts, mismatched shocks, whatever these are holding the shocks on. This has seen some stuff, but it has everything I need. So on the one James sent in, first thing I noticed is when you steer the steering, the right side goes left and right, and the left side goes up and down. It's because it's missing the top link on this side. So I do have two good top links over here. Two good, basically the whole front suspension on this one is going to be parts car for this one. Minus the shock. Shocks are a nightmare on this one. The other thing is it is missing the body mount for the front end. So essentially this was an Ultima chassis, buggy chassis. They just put really tall shock towers on it and then put this ginormous kicked up front bumper panel thing on and put some tiny body mounts on it that go up right in the front of the hood. These are very, very, very hard to find. Could not find them anywhere by themselves. So luckily this chassis has them and they're in good shape. Otherwise, this one looks complete. It has the servo mounts in here. All the bits and pieces are in here. The shocks actually feel super nice. Now, I do need to check. So the rears have the gold springs and the front have some black springs on them. And this one has kind of gold spring on the back and kind of a silver spring on this side and this side. So I do need to check to see if the stock one came with the black springs up front or these silver springs. Both feel about the same tension, so I may just leave the black ones on there. But I don't know, we'll see. The chassis does have a Kyosho Superstock 34 motor in there, so as long as that doesn't make any horrible sounds or smoke when we get it going, I'm gonna leave that in there. There was an issue with the gearbox. One, it is missing the little gearbox seal, that little foam kind of gasket around there, which I think I have some stuff I can make a new seal for that. That shouldn't be no big deal. But it does have a busted idler gear. So thankfully I was able to get one of the counter gears by itself. Hopefully it fits. It was kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's the same size, but this is the one where like the shaft goes through the gear, through the transmission, and it has the E-clip on the outside of the transmission, so there wasn't any real good way of me telling. But hopefully this is the one that works. So this was his truck. He was running it around, and he had the truck body on there, and he said he had it painted the black and orange. Now, stock, it is kind of white on top, blue on the back, and with the decal separating it. I'm not sure which one I actually want to do. I've seen all black, which looks good. I've seen the white and the blue, which looks really good. I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of make that last minute decision when we go to paint it. I really like the box art, but I really like that solid black with the stickers on there. So again, kind of a toss up of where we're going. But in the letter, he explained basically the body got trashed. He was running it around in a park, and one of the dogs in the park decided to take a liking to it and kind of gnawed into the body a little bit. So that's where the body went. Now, he did have the wheels and tires. We did have the wheels in there. He took the tires off. So we have the original front dish wheels, and in the rear we have these, I believe they're HPI deep dish spoke wheels. The originals got lost to a boiling accident to get the tires off, evidently kind of a first try, and it didn't work out too well. So I replaced the tires on there. These are Schumacher V2s, so it has like the spiky tread that the original would have had. So the originals would have had almost like a Tamiya King Cab looking tire, kind of that rounded balloon tire with the spikes all over it. So these were the closest that I could find, you know, in something that was readily available and didn't cost a ton of money. So these are the Schumacher, like I said, these are the Schumacher V2s, and they have kind of the pins with the little kind of zigzaggy V tread in the middle. They look great. They're nice and soft, feel like they should work well. So as far as body, went out and got a Team Blue Groove body, which looks really nice. The only thing this body does not have is the little number plates on the side, and I've got plenty of scrap Lexan if I want to mount some in there. I may just probably leave it without, but it does have the groove bed in the back and the correct body mount locations for it. So, you know, it's going to look, yeah, something like that. And for the body, went and got a set of MCI decals for it. So we have a full set of decals. So, like I said, this has, you know, some really nice color to it. So it would pop with the blue, because you have blue on the hood and, you know, the blue on the back of the bed and everything, with these decals separating the white from the blue. Or if it's all black, these really pop. So I'm not sure, you know, I'm still kind of on the fence with that, but also got the window decals for it. Oh, and this is a little secondary sheet with a lot of the number plates, the Kyosho stuff, the windscreen, the little windshield banner up there. So we have a full set of decals, brand new body. So we got to get to working on that as well as getting the car going. All right, so enough talking, just time to get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip both of these chassis down completely, get everything cleaned up, and then I can kind of cherry pick the best of all the parts and get this rebuilt. Well, time for me to get dirty / clean. So I'll see you guys in a minute. So before I get into all the details and stuff that went on, I do want to give a huge shout out to James, who sent this truck over to me. Thank you so very much for sending the truck over. I'm sorry it took so very long to get to it. I know you weren't in a rush to see it, but it's just one of those things to where I ordered parts and thought I had everything, and then started doing things. Didn't have the right parts, so it got stuck back on a shelf. New parts showed up when I got back around to it. Hey, those are wrong too, and it's just the way it played out. Anyway, I do have it finished. Now, if it finished, maybe not. But essentially all this is a Kyosho Ultima buggy that has this big kick up on the front, and, you know, they made it into a truck. Not a whole lot of difference, really. So all I did was stuck a 1060 hobby wing in there, got my standard knockoff Spectrum radio. I have a generic 4 for $20 steering servo in here, and everything works great. In the transmission, you have the pinion gear, which drives a small spur gear, which then goes into another gear, and then that goes into the input shaft gear. Well, that input shaft gear had 2 teeth missing off of it, and the spur gear had gotten a bit chewed up. Now, I probably could have cleaned that up. That input gear is what I really needed, and that's what took a couple times getting it. And then once I finally got that in, the spur gear, counter gear part was making enough noise to where I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and replace that. So I actually picked up like an SLA printed spur gear for it. Now, the other thing it needed was, of course, the foam gasket here was completely shot and gone. And without that, it kind of just flaps around back there. So I had to make a new seal for that. So that gasket seal back here was surprisingly easy to make. I picked up some, I think it says 1/8 inch or 3mm foam weather stripping, and it's like a rigid foam. I got this off of Amazon. I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested. But the adhesive on the back is nice and sticky. So all I did was cut a piece about 12 inches long, taped one end down to my cutting mat, and just pulled it tight so it was a nice straight line. And I just cut off a little 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch strip off the side of it. So with that roll of foam, I'll be able to make, 1,000 of those little gaskets if I ever need them. Plus it comes in handy if you need to put some padding up against something, keep batteries from banging around, stuff like that. But other than that, the kit is completely stock. It has the Super Stock 34 motor in it still. Everything sounds good. Now, one of the other things that hemmed me up is my own stupidity. Now, when I ordered the body set, I did not realize that there was these side guards that went with it. So I ordered the body set from Team Blue Groove and, the decals from MCI, and I got all that done, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, that looks terrible. It's just wide open space underneath. So it looks like you have a car chassis with a body sitting above it. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't look good at all. I'm like, I don't remember the other ones looking like that. So I went online and was looking, and oh yeah, they have some sort of under tray on them. So went back to MCI, and sure enough, they had it. And they actually had it in a kit. So when I bought it the first time, I had to buy the body and then the number plates as separate pieces. And yeah, they had a whole kit there with the body, the number plates, and the under tray bits here. Didn't see that. This is where the stupidity parts comes in. Me not paying attention, that's normal. The stupidity part comes in is I didn't go download the full instructions. I had some instructions that James had printed off and gave to me for like the rear end and some other bits. But I didn't go download and print all the instructions, which that was my downfall. The Team Blue Groove bit comes in and looks like a little bolt hole or something. So it did have what looked like faint cut lines on it. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know how this thing goes on here. And the one thing that screwed me up, and I took for an assumption, was when I got it, James had a body post sitting in here. So it's just a little short body post, kind of looked like a RC10 type body post on it. So I kind of just assumed that, it just got cut out and the little body post held it on up front. Yeah, no. You're actually supposed to cut the two sides off of this, and the sides actually screw down to the chassis and they stick up. So once you get the body on, it covers up that big gaping hole there that you could just see all the chassis through it. This kind of did the same thing. So I just cut it to fit, drilled a little hole up front to fit the body post, and then cut out these little spots to go around the battery. And technically it would have probably worked. It would have probably kind of done this occasionally, but I realized I did it wrong, and so I went back to Team Blue Groove and ordered another set because, these are all chopped up with the slots on them. What are you going to do? So I've seen a lot online that have a hole cut out in one side to pass the battery through. I'm actually going to run this on a smaller 2-cell LiPo that I can kind of fish in. I've got the silver tape here to keep the sides from getting scraped up and scratched up, putting the battery in and out. So I'm just going to run it on a small 2S pack. I'm not looking to run this for hours and hours. This is just going to get a jaunt around in the yard. So this was just kind of a show and tell for you guys. I'm not going to run it right now. I will get it outside, get some pictures taken of it, put a little montage together so you guys can see it up close. So I would love to get a set of rear wheels for this. So if anybody has a stock set of rear wheels or a full set front and rear, that's fine. That isn't god-awful expensive. I'm not looking to spend, $100 on a set of wheels. I'll run the little... I'll run the HPI spikes, or I'll try to find some, aftermarket 2.2s that will fit on here, and we'll run those. But if anybody does have a original set, hit me up. My email's in the channel description. You can find that there. Just hit the little more thing when you go to the main channel page, and it'll pop it up, and it's in the little description there. So if you do have some, let me know. If not, I hope you guys enjoy kind of the up-close look. This will get out and get run, and no, it's not going to run around the track. I'm not looking to tear this one up. These are on here with some shoe goo. I don't want to knock those off, and have to re-shoe glue them on there. Everything turned out really, really nice. That super black shiny body just looks amazing. So I am going to get it out for a run, just not right now. It'll just be running around the grass, bouncing around, trying to keep it on 4 wheels. And I'm not expecting a ton. The stock motor is probably not going to be the fastest. Sorry, I've got gnats down here. But it does have a fairly strong magnet, because you can see it going bop, 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 bop. That's the magnet in the motor. So who knows, it may be a gutsy little motor. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna sorry for rambling on and talking so much. Enjoy the photos at the end, and as always, everybody out there, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks so much, James. See you guys.